It is late now. The house is quiet. The world outside has softened into stillness, and here you are, in this moment, with nothing demanded of you. No urgency, no rush. Just the gentle rhythm of your breathing, and the comfort of knowing that right now, you can simply be. Tonight, I want to talk with you about something we don't often name directly. The weight. The invisible load we carry through our lives. Not just the burdens we speak of, the responsibilities, the worries, the tasks left undone, but the deeper weight. The accumulated heaviness of all we've experienced, all we've held, all we've carried for others when they could not carry it themselves. And I want to talk about the light, too. Because even in the heaviest seasons, there was always light. Sometimes just a sliver. Sometimes bright and warming. But always there, even when we couldn't see it clearly. You have carried so much. More than anyone watching from the outside could ever know. And you are still here. Still breathing. Still capable of feeling. That alone is extraordinary. Let yourself settle into this quiet hour. There is nowhere you need to be. Nothing you need to accomplish. This time is simply yours, to rest, to remember, to let your mind wander through the landscape of a life that has been yours alone to live. When we are young, we do not yet understand weight. Oh, we think we do. We feel the pressure of exams, the ache of first heartbreak, the anxiety of wondering who we will become. And those things are real. They matter. But we do not yet know the particular heaviness that comes with years. We do not know, then, what it means to worry about a parent's failing health. To lie awake wondering if we made the right choice 10 years ago, and to realize we can never go back to choose differently. We do not yet understand the weight of love that has deepened into something both more beautiful and more complex than we ever imagined it could be. Time does something to us. It adds layers. Each year, we accumulate not just memories, but the emotional texture of having lived them. Joy leaves its trace. So does sorrow. So does the ordinary passage of unremarkable days that somehow, in their totality, become the substance of a life. You were once someone who looked forward to everything. Do you remember? There was a time when the future stretched out endlessly, full of possibility. You would become someone. You would do things. You would matter in ways you could not yet define but felt certain about nonetheless. And then you lived. You became. You did. And somewhere along the way, the future became the present, and then quietly slipped into the past. The things you thought would define you came and went. Some happened. Some did not. And life, as it always does, continued anyway. This is not sad. Though sometimes, late at night, it can feel that way. This is simply the truth of being human. We imagine our lives before we live them, and then we live something both different and stranger and more real than we ever imagined. The distance between who you thought you would be and who you actually became, that distance holds so much. It holds disappointment, yes, but it also holds surprise, growth, wisdom, the humbling experience of being wrong about yourself in ways both difficult and wonderful. You thought you would be fearless, perhaps. And instead you learned that courage is not the absence of fear but the decision to continue despite it. You thought you would have everything figured out by now. And instead you learned that uncertainty is not failure but simply the honest condition of being alive. You thought life would be simpler, clearer, that right and wrong would be obvious, that choices would be straightforward, that if you just worked hard enough and were good enough, everything would fall into place. And instead you learned that life is complicated. That good people sometimes hurt each other. That hard work does not always lead to success. That being good is not a shield against pain. These lessons carried weight. They made you heavier in some ways. But they also made you real. They stripped away the illusions and left you with something more valuable. The ability to see clearly, to understand deeply, to meet life as it actually is rather than as you wish it would be. The weight begins in small ways. A responsibility accepted. A promise made. A person who depends on you. At first, these feel manageable, even good. We want to matter. We want to be needed. We want to know that our presence makes a difference. So we carry a little more. We take on a job that demands much of us. We care for children who need everything. We support a partner through their struggles. We help aging parents navigate a world that has changed too quickly for them. We show up for friends in crisis. We hold together the small corners of the world we can reach. And each of these things, individually, might not seem heavy, but over time, they accumulate. The weight compounds, and we do not always notice how much we are holding until one day we feel how tired we have become. Perhaps you worked for 30 years, or 40, or more. Day after day, week after week. Not just showing up, but caring about what you did. Trying to do it well. Managing the stress, the politics, the demands, the changes. Worrying about money. Worrying about security. Pushing through exhaustion because there was no choice but to continue. There were mornings you did not want to get out of bed. Mornings when the thought of another day felt overwhelming. But you got up anyway. You showered, dressed, went to work. You smiled at colleagues. You completed tasks. You solved problems. You did what needed to be done, even when doing it cost you something. And no one knew. No one saw how much effort it took. They saw you functioning, and they assumed you were fine. They did not see the nights you lay awake worrying. The weekends you spent recovering from the week. The slow erosion of energy that happened so gradually you barely noticed it yourself until one day you realized you had been tired for years. Perhaps you raised children. Anyone who has not done this cannot fully understand the particular weight it carries. The constant alertness. The worry that never entirely stops, not even when they are grown, not even when they have children of their own. The sacrifice of your own needs, again and again, because someone smaller and more vulnerable needed you more. The guilt that comes with every mistake, every moment of impatience, every time you fail to be the parent you hope to be. The second guessing. The wondering if you did enough, said enough, gave enough. The fear that your failures will mark them forever. But also the fierce love. The pride. The joy of watching them grow. The privilege of being trusted with something so precious. The way they changed you, deepened you, made you capable of feelings you did not know existed before they came into your life. You carried them physically when they were small. On your hip, in your arms, on your back. You carried them through illnesses and nightmares and disappointments. You carried their happiness and their heartbreaks. You carried your hopes for them and your fears. You carried the weight of wanting desperately to protect them from a world you knew would hurt them eventually, no matter what you did. And even now, even if they are grown, even if they live far away, even if your relationship with them is complicated, you still carry them. They are woven into you. Their well-being matters to you in a way that transcends logic. This is the particular weight of parenthood. It never becomes light. You simply become stronger at carrying it. Perhaps you cared for someone who was ill. A parent, a partner, a child, a sibling, a friend. Day after day, watching someone you love struggle, doing what you could, knowing it would never be enough. The helplessness of that. The exhaustion that goes beyond physical tiredness into something that settles into your bones. The world does not stop while you are caregiving. Bills still need to be paid. Other relationships still need attention. Your own health still needs tending. But all of that fades into the background when someone you love is suffering. You learn to function on less sleep. You learn to push your own needs aside. You learn to find small moments of rest in the spaces between crises. And you learn something else, too. You learn how much you are capable of. How much love you can give, how patient you can be, how strong you are even when you feel like you are breaking. You learn that there is a kind of nobility in simply showing up, day after day, for someone who needs you. Not because it feels good or brings recognition, but because it is what love requires. Perhaps your weight was quieter. Loneliness carried in silence. Not the loneliness of being physically alone, necessarily, but the deeper loneliness of feeling unseen. Of having parts of yourself that no one quite understands. Of holding feelings you cannot share because there is no one who would fully comprehend them. Or perhaps grief that no one else quite understood. Not the dramatic grief that everyone recognizes, but the ongoing chronic grief of loss that happens slowly. The gradual disappearance of someone to dementia. The ending of a marriage that died long before it officially ended. The death of dreams you once held. The loss of who you used to be before life changed you. Disappointment with how things turned out. This is a weight we rarely discuss openly. We are supposed to be grateful for what we have, and we are. But that gratitude can coexist with disappointment. With the quiet acknowledgement that some things you hoped for did not happen. That some doors closed and will never reopen. That time is running out for certain possibilities. Dreams that faded. Not because you stopped caring, but because life demanded practical choices. Because survival mattered more than aspiration. Because other people's needs took precedence. Because you got tired. Because the world did not cooperate with your vision. Because you were human and fallible and could not do everything. Relationships that ended. Some explosively. Some gradually. Some that needed to end. Some that you wish had not. The weight of missing someone who is still alive but no longer part of your life. The weight of being misunderstood. The weight of hurting someone even when you did not mean to. The weight of being hurt by someone who perhaps did not mean to either. Parts of yourself you had to hide or diminish to fit into the life you found yourself living. The parts that felt too much. The parts that wanted different things. The parts that did not match what others expected of you. The slow grief of self-abandonment that sometimes feels necessary for survival. We carry these things, and we learn not to speak of them too much. Because what would we say? Everyone has their burdens. Everyone is tired. And so we smile when we need to, and we keep going, and we hold the weight inside where others cannot see it. But it is there. It has always been there. And carrying it has cost you something. It has cost you energy, peace, sometimes joy. It has marked you, changed you, made you into someone who understands things that the unburdened cannot understand. But here is something else. Something true. Even in the heaviest times, even when you felt you might break under the pressure of it all, you also experienced moments of lightness. Brief, sometimes. Easy to overlook. But there. A morning when the light came through the window in a particular way and you paused, just for a moment, to notice its beauty. The way dust particles danced in the beam. The way everything looked softer, warmer, more forgiving in that light. And for just that moment, nothing else mattered. The taste of coffee that was especially good. Such a small thing. But pleasure is pleasure, regardless of scale. The warmth of the cup in your hands. The rich smell. The first sip. The way it helped you feel a little more awake, a little more capable of facing the day. That was light. A conversation that made you laugh unexpectedly. Real laughter, the kind that comes from your belly, that surprises you with its intensity. The kind that makes your face hurt and your eyes water. The kind that, for a few minutes, makes you forget everything heavy. That was light. A song on the radio that reminded you of who you once were, and somehow also of who you still are. The way music can transport you instantly to another time. The way a melody can unlock feelings you did not know you were holding. The bittersweet joy of remembering. That was light. The weight and the light existed together. They always do. This is one of life's strange truths. We can be burdened and blessed simultaneously. We can be suffering and still capable of joy. We can be exhausted and still experience moments of beauty that take our breath away. You remember holding your child's hand crossing the street. Such a small thing. But in that moment, the warmth of that small hand in yours, the trust implicit in that touch, that was light. Even if you were exhausted. Even if you were worried about bills or work or the argument you had the night before. In that moment, there was pure, uncomplicated light. You remember sitting with someone you loved, saying nothing, just being together. Maybe watching television. Maybe reading in the same room. Maybe just sitting on the porch as the day ended. The comfort of shared silence. The ease of being with someone who did not require you to be anything other than yourself. That was light. You remember finishing something difficult. A project completed. A challenge overcome. A day survived. The quiet satisfaction of that. The sense of accomplishment, small or large. The feeling of capability that comes from doing something you were not sure you could do. Like, you remember kindness, given and received. The stranger who helped when you were struggling with bags or a door. The friend who called at exactly the right moment, somehow knowing you needed connection. The neighbor who brought food when you were overwhelmed. The times you were able to help someone else and felt the particular warmth that comes from knowing you made something easier for another person. Like all of it. The way a pet greeted you when you came home. Pure, uncomplicated joy at your existence. No judgment. No expectations. Just happiness that you were there. If you have known this kind of love, you understand how profoundly healing it can be. How it can lighten the heaviest day. Like seasons changing. Spring arriving after a hard winter. Flowers blooming. Trees budding. The world renewing itself, reminding you that endings are not final. That rest leads to growth. That there is always another cycle coming. Like the moon on a clear night. Stars visible in the darkness. The vastness of the universe putting your problems into perspective. Not diminishing them exactly, but contextualizing them. Reminding you that you are part of something much larger. Like unexpected beauty in ordinary places. The pattern of frost on a window. The way rain sounds on the roof. The smell of bread baking. The feeling of clean sheets. The warmth of sun on your face. These small sensory pleasures that cost nothing but give so much. Like, we do not always recognize these moments as we live them. We are too busy carrying the weight. Our minds are too full of worries and responsibilities. But they were there. They are woven through your life like golden threads in a heavy tapestry. And they matter as much as the weight does. Perhaps more. Because these moments of light, these small, beautiful, ordinary moments, they are what made the weight bearable. They are what kept you going when you wanted to stop. They are proof that life, even when hard, is also good. That existence, even when painful, is also precious. There is something we learn, if we live long enough. We learn that strength is not what we thought it was when we were young. We thought strength meant never struggling, never feeling overwhelmed, always knowing what to do, being invulnerable, standing alone, needing no one. But real strength is different. Real strength is continuing even when you feel weak. It is getting up one more time after you wanted to give up. It is doing what needs to be done even when you have nothing left. It is feeling everything, the fear, the sadness, the exhaustion, and not letting those feelings make the decisions for you. Real strength is asking for help when you need it. Admitting vulnerability. Saying, I cannot do this alone, and meaning it. This is harder than pretending to be fine. This requires more courage than suffering in silence. Real strength is changing your mind when you discover you were wrong. Apologizing when you have hurt someone. Learning from mistakes instead of defending them. Growth requires a kind of strength that youth cannot comprehend. It requires the humility to acknowledge that who you were is not who you have to remain. Real strength is continuing to love even after love has hurt you. Opening your heart again after it has been broken. Trusting again after trust has been betrayed. This is not naivety. This is courage. This is choosing to remain tender in a world that often rewards hardness. Real strength is allowing yourself to feel joy even when you know it will not last. Laughing even though you have reasons to cry. Finding reasons to hope even when circumstances suggest hopelessness. This is not denial. This is resilience. This is refusing to let difficulty steal every good thing. You have been stronger than you know. All those times you thought you were barely managing, you were actually demonstrating remarkable resilience. All those times you felt inadequate, you were doing far better than you gave yourself credit for. The weight you carried did not break you. And that is not a small thing. That is everything. There were days you woke up and did not know how you would get through. But you did. You found a way. You took one step, then another. You broke the day into smaller pieces. You did the next thing, and then the next thing after that. And somehow, impossibly, you reached the end. There were nights you cried from exhaustion or frustration or grief. You let yourself feel the fullness of your pain. You did not pretend it away. You honored it. And then morning came anyway, as it always does, and you continued. That is strength. There were seasons when everything felt impossible, when you could not see a way forward, when you were certain you could not endure one more loss, one more disappointment, one more hard thing. But you moved through those seasons, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, sometimes one breath at a time. And eventually those seasons ended. They always do. And you were still here. You survived losses that felt unsurvivable, deaths of people you loved, endings of relationships you thought would last forever, failures of dreams you had invested everything in. Each time, you thought the pain might destroy you. Each time, you discovered that you were stronger than the pain, not immune to it, not untouched by it, but capable of surviving it. You adapted to changes you never wanted. Retirement that felt like loss of identity, physical limitations that felt like betrayal, roles that shifted, leaving you uncertain of your purpose, the world changing in ways that left you feeling displaced. Each adaptation required letting go of something. Each one cost you, and each one proved your resilience. You learned to live with disappointments, with pain, with a gap between what you hoped for and what actually was. You learned that life rarely matches our expectations, but can still be worth living. You learned that accepting what is does not mean you have given up hope. It means you have learned wisdom. You learned to carry contradictions, to be sad and grateful simultaneously, to miss what was while appreciating what is, to acknowledge pain while still finding joy, to hold regret and acceptance in the same heart. This is not simple. This is sophisticated. This is the kind of emotional complexity that only comes with years of living. And in doing all of this, you became someone deeper than you were before. Someone who understands things that cannot be taught, only lived. Someone who carries wisdom earned through experience, through suffering, through endurance, through survival. This is not the story we are told to value. We are told to celebrate achievements, accomplishments, success, happiness, the bright and shiny outcomes, the victory stories, the tales of triumph. But the real story of a human life is quieter than that. The real story is the story of simply continuing, of carrying weight and finding light, of surviving and somehow, inexplicably, still being capable of gentleness, of love, of hope, of getting up after being knocked down, of trying again after failing, of remaining human in circumstances that might have hardened you beyond recognition. Your life has not been perfect. You have made mistakes. You have failed at things. You have hurt people, sometimes without meaning to, sometimes because you were hurting and could not contain it. You have been selfish when you should have been generous. You have been closed when you should have been open. You have been harsh when you should have been kind. You have been hurt deeply by people who should have protected you, by circumstances that were not fair, by losses that were not your fault, by a world that did not always recognize your value, by your own choices sometimes. You have regrets, things you wish you had done differently, words you wish you had said or not said, choices you question even now, time you wasted, opportunities you missed, relationships you let fade, moments you did not appreciate until they were gone. But you have also been remarkably human, fallible and brave, tired and persistent, imperfect and loving. And that is exactly what you were supposed to be. Not flawless, not invincible, not superhuman, just human, just yourself, doing your best with what you knew and what you had at any given moment. Think about the people you have loved, the deep, complicated, messy love that comes with truly knowing someone. This love, too, carries weight, because to love someone is to worry about them, to feel their pain as if it were your own, to want better for them than they sometimes want for themselves. To love someone is to watch them make mistakes you cannot prevent, to see them hurt and be unable to fix it, to know that you cannot protect them from life, no matter how much you want to. This helplessness is part of love. It is the cost of caring deeply. To love someone is to accept their flaws along with their beauty. To see them fully, the good and the difficult, and choose them anyway. To forgive them their humanness because you understand your own. To hold space for their growth even when it is uncomfortable. To let them be who they are rather than who you wish they would be. To love someone is to lose them, eventually, in one way or another. Death will take them, or distance, or change. People we love become different people. We become different people. Relationships transform. Sometimes they end. This is the unbearable truth of love. It is always temporary. And knowing this makes it both more painful and more precious. But this weight is different from other weight. It is weight worth carrying. Because love is the point. Connection is the point. Caring about someone beyond yourself is the point. If there is any meaning to be found in existence, it is in this, that we reach toward each other. That we open ourselves to another person despite the vulnerability it requires. That we choose to care even knowing it will hurt eventually. You have loved. Maybe not always well. Maybe not always wisely. Maybe not always in ways that were reciprocated or understood. But you have loved. You have opened your heart. You have let people in. You have cared deeply about someone else's happiness, someone else's well-being, someone else's life. And you have been loved, too. Even if it was imperfect. Even if it was complicated. Even if the people who loved you did not always show it the way you needed. Even if that love came with conditions you wish had not been there. You were loved. You mattered to someone. You still do. There is someone, somewhere, who remembers you with fondness. Someone who thinks of you and smiles. Someone whose life is different because you were part of it. You may not know who. You may never know the full extent of your impact. But it is true. The small kindnesses you offered, most of them forgotten by you now, were remembered by others. The time you listened when someone needed to talk. Really listened, not just waited for your turn to speak. The time you helped without being asked. The time you noticed someone was struggling and reached out. The time you were patient when you could have been harsh. The time you forgave when you could have held a grudge. These things rippled outward in ways you never saw. They changed moments. They changed days. Sometimes they changed lives. That person who was having a terrible day and then you smiled at them, spoke kindly to them, treated them with dignity. You may have been the only person who did that day. You may have been the thing that kept them going. You were not just carrying your own weight. You were helping others carry theirs. And that means something. That means you contributed to the small, persistent goodness that keeps the world from being entirely harsh. That means you were part of the solution, not the problem. That means your existence made things better, even in small ways, even in ways you did not notice. The paradox of weight is this. Sometimes we do not realize how heavy our load has been until we begin to set it down. Retirement comes, and suddenly there is no job demanding your presence. Children grow and leave, and suddenly they do not need you in the same immediate way. Responsibilities shift, fade, and we find ourselves with space we did not have before. This can feel strange, disorienting. Who are we when we are not needed in the ways we once were? What matters now? What is our purpose when the old purposes no longer apply? These questions can feel frightening. They can trigger a kind of existential vertigo. We have defined ourselves by our roles for so long, worker, parent, caregiver, provider, that when those roles change or end, we are not sure who remains. But there is something else happening, too. A lightness begins to emerge. Not the light of joy necessarily, though that can come, but the lightness of release, of letting go, of realizing that you do not have to carry everything anymore, that perhaps you never did, even when you thought you must. The weight taught you things, made you who you are, gave you depth and empathy and wisdom. But it does not have to define the rest of your story. You are allowed to set it down. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to rest now. To stop proving yourself. To stop pushing so hard. To stop carrying weight that was never truly yours to begin with. To recognize that some problems are not yours to solve. That some people's journeys are their own. That you cannot save everyone. That you do not have to. You are allowed to spend a whole afternoon doing something that serves no purpose except that it brings you small pleasure. Reading a book just because you want to know how the story ends. Sitting in the garden watching birds. Taking a walk with nowhere you need to be and no schedule to keep. Working on a puzzle. Listening to music. Doing nothing at all. This is not laziness. This is not wasting time. This is living. This is finally, after years of constant productivity and responsibility, allowing yourself to simply exist without justification. You are allowed to say no. To let others figure things out without your intervention. To let some things remain undone. To recognize that your value is not determined by your usefulness. That you are worth something simply because you exist, not because of what you can do for others. You are allowed to disappoint people sometimes. To prioritize your own needs. To make choices based on what is best for you rather than what others want from you. This is not selfishness. This is self-preservation. This is recognizing that you matter too. You are allowed to let go of proving anything to anyone. You do not need to impress people anymore. You do not need to compete. You do not need to be the best or the strongest or the most accomplished. You can just be. That is enough. You are enough. You are allowed to forgive yourself for not being everything to everyone. For having limitations. For being human. For failing sometimes. For not knowing what you did not know. For making mistakes. For being imperfect. You are allowed to look at your past with compassion instead of judgment. You are allowed to be gentler with yourself than you have been. To speak to yourself with the same kindness you have offered so many others. To give yourself the grace you have given to people who deserved it far less. To treat yourself as someone worthy of care and tenderness and patience. There is a particular grace that comes with aging, if we allow it. A softening. A wisdom that is less about knowing answers and more about being comfortable with questions. About understanding that life is complex, that people are complicated, that very little is as simple as we once thought. When you were younger, you might have been certain about many things. This is right. That is wrong. This is how life should be. People should behave this way. The world should work like this. You had firm opinions. Clear judgments. Definite ideas about how things ought to be. But life has taught you nuance. It has shown you that good people sometimes do harmful things. That bad situations sometimes lead to growth. That what seemed like disaster at the time turned out to be redirection. That joy and sorrow can exist simultaneously. That nothing is as clear-cut as it appears from the outside. You have learned that most people are doing the best they can with what they have. That behavior that looks incomprehensible from the outside makes perfect sense from the inside. That judgment is easy but understanding is hard. That condemning others is simple but empathy requires effort. You are less quick to judge now, perhaps. More willing to allow space for complexity. More aware of how little you truly know about what goes on inside another person's experience. More humble about your ability to determine what is right for someone else's life. This is wisdom. Not the kind that makes you impressive at parties or wins you arguments, but the kind that makes you more human, more compassionate, more real, more capable of genuine connection with others because you recognize their struggles as echoes of your own. You have learned that being right matters less than being kind. That winning an argument is rarely worth damaging a relationship. That people are more important than principles, usually. That being understood is less valuable than understanding others. You have learned that most things that seemed urgent were not. That most things that seemed permanent changed. That the only constant is change itself, and fighting against it only creates suffering. That flexibility is survival. That adaptation is strength. You have learned to let go of things that once consumed you. Old resentments that no longer serve you. Grudges that take more energy to maintain than they are worth. Perfectionism that only ever made you tired and never made you happy. The need to control everything. The belief that you could control everything. You have learned, perhaps, that much of what you worried about never happened. and that some of what did happen, though difficult, you survived anyway. That worry is not preparation. That anxiety does not prevent disaster. That most of the suffering we experience happens in our minds, in our anticipation, not in the actual living of our lives. You have learned that the future is less predictable than you once thought and also less terrifying. That you have weathered storms you never imagined you could survive. That you have resources within yourself you did not know existed until you needed them. That you are more resilient than you gave yourself credit for. Life is strange, is it not? How it never turns out quite the way we imagine. How the things we were so sure would happen did not. How the things we never anticipated became central to our story. How we end up in places we never planned to be, with people we never expected to meet, doing things we never thought we would do. Life asks things of us we never knew we could give. It demands flexibility we did not know we possessed. It requires strength we had to discover in the moment of needing it. It breaks us open in ways that feel unbearable at the time but that ultimately allow more light in. How it breaks us and somehow we heal, never quite the same, but whole enough. Whole in a different way. Not the innocent wholeness of someone who has never been broken, but the earned wholeness of someone who has been shattered and painstakingly reassembled. The kind of wholeness that is stronger for having been broken. That is deeper for having been hollow. You are not the person you thought you would be. Not even close, probably. But you are someone. Someone with depth. Someone with stories. Someone who has experienced things that cannot be explained to those who have not lived them. Someone who has earned every gray hair, every line on your face, every scar visible and invisible. Your life may not look like success by the world's standards. You may not have achieved everything you hoped. You may not have the recognition, the wealth, the status, the perfect family, the impressive career, the big house, the exotic travels, the exciting adventures. Your resume may not be remarkable. Your bank account may not be impressive. Your accomplishments may not make anyone gasp with admiration. You may have lived what looks, from the outside, like an ordinary life. But you have something more valuable than any of that. You have lived. You have felt deeply. You have connected with others. You have survived. You have continued. You have loved and been loved. You have known joy and sorrow. You have experienced the full range of human emotion. You have been present for your own life. And in the quiet of this night, that is enough. It has always been enough. It will always be enough. The meaning of your life is not found in any single achievement or relationship or moment. It is found in the accumulation of days. In the fact that you showed up, that you tried, that you cared, that you felt, that you were here, present, experiencing this strange gift of existence. You are a person who laughed, who cried, who loved and was loved, who worked and rested, who struggled and persevered, who made mistakes and learned, who hurt and healed, who gave and received, who hoped and grieved and hoped again. You are someone who carried weight with quiet dignity, who found light in unexpected places, who was strong when strength was needed and vulnerable when vulnerability was needed more, who kept going even when stopping seemed easier. You are someone whose presence mattered, whose existence made a difference, even if you never fully saw how, even if no one ever told you, even if the difference was small. It mattered. You mattered. You still matter. Perhaps you lie here tonight with regrets, things you wish you had done differently, chances you did not take, words you should have said or should not have said, time you wasted, relationships you let fade, opportunities you missed, versions of yourself you abandoned, dreams you gave up on too easily or held onto too long. These regrets are real. They are part of your story. They have weight. They sit on your chest sometimes in the quiet hours. They whisper what if. They show you other versions of your life, other paths you might have walked, other people you might have been. But they are not the whole story. They are not even the most important part of the story. For every regret, there is also something you did do. Someone you did love. Some moment of courage or kindness or strength. Some small victory that you have forgotten but that mattered at the time. Some choice that was right even though you cannot see it now. Some path that led you to something valuable even though the journey was hard. You cannot change the past. This is one of life's most difficult truths. What is done is done. What was said cannot be unsaid. Who you were cannot be rewritten. The mistakes remain mistakes. The losses remain losses. But you can change how you hold it. You can change how you carry it. You can choose to stop punishing yourself for being imperfect. You can choose to forgive yourself for what you did not know then that you know now. You can choose to remember yourself with compassion, understanding that you were doing your best with the awareness and resources you had at the time. The person you were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that person was trying. That person was navigating life with whatever tools they had. They made mistakes, yes. But they also did many things right. They got you here. They survived what needed to be survived. They carried what needed to be carried. They made choices that seemed reasonable at the time, given what they knew. You can thank that earlier version of yourself for their efforts, for their endurance, for not giving up even when giving up seemed like the only option, for doing things that were hard, for trying when trying cost them something, for caring when caring made them vulnerable. And you can choose, right now, in this quiet moment, to release some of the weight of regret, not to forget it, not to pretend it does not exist, not to claim you have no responsibility for your choices, but to stop letting it define you, to stop letting it steal the peace you deserve, to stop using it as evidence that you are fundamentally flawed or unworthy. Regret can be a teacher. It can show you what you value, what you wish you had prioritized differently, what you want to change going forward. But it does not have to be a prison. It does not have to be the lens through which you view your entire life. You are more than your mistakes. You are more than your regrets. You are more than the worst things you have ever done or the best opportunities you have ever missed. You are the sum total of everything, the good and the bad, the wise and the foolish, the brave and the fearful, the generous and the selfish. You are human, complicated, contradictory, real. There is still time. This is important to remember. While you have breath, while you have days ahead, there is still time. Not for everything. Not to undo the past. Not to become someone entirely different. Not to achieve everything you once hoped for. But for something. Time to experience simple pleasures. To notice beauty that has always been there but that you were too busy to see. To pause in front of a flower and really look at it. To listen to rain. To feel wind on your face. To taste food slowly instead of rushing through meals. To be present for the small, ordinary moments that make up the substance of a life. Time to be kinder to yourself. To speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. To give yourself the benefit of the doubt. To celebrate small victories. To forgive small failures. To recognize that you are doing your best and that your best is enough. Time to heal old wounds. Not by pretending they never happened, but by tending to them with gentleness. By acknowledging the pain. By allowing yourself to grieve what needs to be grieved. By letting time and compassion do their slow work of transformation. Time to make peace with what was. With the choices you made and the choices that were made for you. With the things that happened and the things that did not happen. With the people who stayed and the people who left. With who you became and who you did not become. Peace does not mean you are happy about everything. It means you have stopped fighting reality. It means you have accepted what is true. Time to forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is not about saying that what happened was okay. It is not about excusing harm or pretending pain did not occur. It is about releasing the burden of carrying anger and resentment. It is about freeing yourself from the exhausting work of maintaining grudges. It is about choosing your own peace over the satisfaction of remaining hurt. Time to love more freely. To tell people you care about them. To show affection without waiting for the perfect moment. To be vulnerable even though vulnerability is frightening. To open your heart even though opening it means it can be hurt again. To choose connection over self-protection. Time to let go more easily. of things that no longer serve you, of relationships that drain you, of expectations that cause suffering, of the need to control outcomes, of attachment to how things should be instead of acceptance of how things are. Letting go is not giving up. It is recognizing what is yours to carry and what is not. Time to rest more deeply. To stop treating rest as something to be earned. To recognize that your body and mind need recovery. To sleep without guilt. To do nothing without apologizing for it. To understand that rest is not laziness but necessity. That you cannot pour from an empty cup. That taking care of yourself is not selfish but essential. You do not need grand plans. You do not need to reinvent yourself. You do not need to accomplish anything impressive. You do not need to make up for lost time or prove anything to anyone. You simply need to be here, living as fully as you can in whatever way that means for you now. Perhaps that means tending a garden, getting your hands in soil, watching things grow, participating in the cycle of planting and nurturing and harvesting, finding satisfaction in small acts of creation. Perhaps it means baking bread, the simple alchemy of flour and water and yeast, the meditative work of kneading, the smell of something baking, the pleasure of sharing what you have made with others or savoring it yourself. Perhaps it means reading stories, losing yourself in other worlds, other lives, other perspectives. The particular magic of words on a page creating entire universes in your mind. The companionship of characters who feel real. The escape and the return, both valuable. Perhaps it means walking in nature, feeling your body move, noticing seasons changing, watching birds and trees and clouds, being part of the natural world instead of separate from it, remembering that you are an animal, a creature, part of the earth. Perhaps it means spending time with people you love, having conversations that matter, sharing meals, making memories, being present with others in ways you were too busy to be before, deepening connections, showing up. Perhaps it means creating something, painting or drawing or writing or building or crafting, not because you are good at it or because anyone will see it, but because the act of creation itself is healing. Because making something that did not exist before is a small miracle. Because you have things inside you that want to be expressed. Perhaps it means helping someone, volunteering your time or skills, making someone's life a little easier, being useful in a way that feels meaningful to you, contributing to something larger than yourself. Perhaps it means learning something new, studying a subject you are curious about, developing a skill, challenging your mind, discovering that you are still capable of growth, still capable of change, still capable of surprise. Or perhaps it simply means sitting quietly, feeling the warmth of sun on your face, grateful for the gift of another day, for breath moving in and out of your body, for consciousness, for existence, for being alive, here, now. Your life is not over. It has changed, yes. You have changed. But you are still here, still capable of feeling, still capable of experiencing, still capable of mattering, still capable of joy and wonder and love and peace. The weight and the light. They are woven together, inseparable. You cannot have one without the other. The weight gave you depth. The light gave you hope. Together, they made you real. You are not a person who has failed because you struggled. You are a person who is human because you struggled. You are not weak because you felt the heaviness. You are strong because you carried it anyway. You are not broken because you hurt. You are compassionate because you hurt. Every person who has lived long enough carries weight. This is not unique to you. Suffering is the common thread of humanity. Pain is universal. Struggle is shared. We all carry burdens. We all face challenges. We all experience loss and disappointment and hardship. But the particular weight you carried, the specific light you found, the exact path you walked, that is yours alone. No one else has lived your life. No one else has your specific combination of experiences, responses, choices, consequences, victories, losses, joys, sorrows. No one else loved the specific people you loved in the specific ways you loved them. No one else saw the world through your particular eyes. No one else felt things the way you felt them. No one else made your particular mistakes, or learned your particular lessons, or carried your particular weight, or found your particular light. You are utterly unique, irreplaceable. And even if you do not feel special, even if your life seems ordinary, the simple fact of your existence, your specific existence, is extraordinary. Because you are here. Because you have witnessed this world from your particular vantage point. Because you have contributed your particular thread to the vast tapestry of human experience. Because you have felt things no one else has felt in quite the same way. Because you have loved people in your own particular way. Because you have carried your weight and found your light and continued, day after day, year after year, through all of it. Your particular way of being in the world, your laugh, your way of seeing things, your kindness, your humor, your perspective, your presence, that has mattered. That has made a difference. That has affected other people in ways you cannot fully measure. The world is different because you are in it. Not in grand, obvious ways necessarily, but in small, persistent ways. In moments. In interactions. In ripples that spread outward from every choice you make, every word you speak, every kindness you offer. You are part of the great web of connection that binds humanity together. You are part of the ongoing story of people trying to live, trying to love, trying to find meaning in existence. And your part of that story matters. Tonight, as you lie here in the quiet, I want you to know something. You do not have to be anything other than what you are. You do not have to accomplish anything more. You do not have to prove your worth. You do not have to earn your right to rest. You do not have to justify your existence. You have done enough. You have been enough. You are enough. This is not empty reassurance. This is truth. You are enough. Not because of what you have accomplished or who you have become or what you have given or how you have helped others. Those things matter. But they are not what makes you enough. You are enough simply because you exist. Because you are a conscious being capable of experiencing this strange, beautiful, difficult thing called life. Because you are here. Because you have a heartbeat and breath and thoughts and feelings. Because you are part of this world. Your worth is not conditional. It is not dependent on your achievements or your usefulness or your productivity or your relationships or anything else. It is intrinsic. It simply is. The weight you carried shaped you, made you deeper, made you wiser, made you more compassionate, made you someone who understands suffering and therefore can hold space for others who suffer, made you more human. The light you found sustained you, gave you hope, gave you moments of joy, gave you reasons to continue, reminded you that even in darkness, there is beauty, that even in pain, there is possibility, that even in heaviness, there are moments of lightness. And together, they tell the story of a life fully lived. Not perfectly lived, not easily lived, but fully, completely, authentically, honestly. You have loved and been loved. This alone gives your life profound meaning. You have opened your heart to others. You have let people matter to you. You have cared deeply, even knowing that caring makes you vulnerable. This is brave. This is beautiful. This is the point of being human. You have hurt and healed. You have been wounded by life and you have recovered. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. You have survived. You have adapted. You have found ways to continue. This is resilience. This is strength. This is remarkable. You have struggled and survived. You have faced challenges that felt impossible. You have endured losses that felt unbearable. You have weathered storms you were certain would destroy you. And yet here you are. Still breathing. Still feeling. Still capable of love and hope and joy. This is extraordinary. You have given and received. You have contributed to the lives of others. You have helped. You have shown up. You have offered your time, your energy, your presence, your care. And you have allowed others to give to you, which is its own form of courage. You have participated in the reciprocal exchange that makes human connection possible. You have hoped and grieved and hoped again. You have experienced the full cycle of attachment and loss. You have dared to want things, to care about outcomes, to invest yourself in people and dreams and possibilities. And when those things did not work out as you hoped, you grieved. And then, impossibly, you found the courage to hope again. This is not foolishness. This is the greatest courage there is. You have been young and now you are not, and that is as it should be. Time moves forward. We age. This is not failure. This is not tragedy. This is life. This is the natural progression of existence. And aging is not decline. It is accumulation. It is depth. It is wisdom. It is the reward for surviving. And your life, this life you have lived, has mattered. It matters still. It will continue to matter in ways you may never fully see or understand. Because lives ripple forward. Because everything you have done, everyone you have touched, every kindness you have offered continues to exist in the world in some form. The people you have touched carry pieces of you with them. The kindnesses you offered ripple forward in ways you cannot trace. The love you gave remains, even when the people you gave it to are no longer present or no longer remember. Energy does not disappear. It transforms. And the energy you put into the world through your living continues. The work you did mattered to someone. Every task you completed, every problem you solved, everything you created or maintained or improved, it mattered. It served a purpose. It made something possible. It contributed to the functioning of the world. The presence you brought to moments, to days, to years, made those times different than they would have been without you. Your particular way of being in the world affected the quality of existence for others. Your laugh made people smile. Your kindness made people feel seen. Your listening made people feel heard. Your caring made people feel valued. You have been part of the vast, intricate web of human connection. You have been a thread in the larger tapestry. And without your particular thread, the pattern would be incomplete. The picture would be missing something essential. You are necessary. You have always been necessary. You will always be necessary. So rest now. Let your body sink into the softness beneath you. Feel the way you are held. Feel the support under your back, your head, your legs. Let yourself be held. Let yourself be supported. Let your mind slow. Let the thoughts that race during the day quiet down. Let the worries settle. Let the planning stop. Let the analyzing pause. Let there be space. Let there be stillness. Let your breath deepen. Feel the air moving in and out. Notice the gentle rhythm, the rise and fall of your chest, the way your body knows how to breathe without your conscious effort. Trust your body. It has carried you this far. It knows what to do. Let yourself simply be, without effort, without striving, without needing to be anywhere or do anything or prove anything. You have permission to rest. You have earned this rest. You deserve this rest. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to acknowledge the weight you have carried. You are allowed to set it down, at least for this night, at least for these hours, at least for this moment. Tomorrow will come, as it always does. There will be things to do, responsibilities to meet, challenges to face. Life will continue to ask things of you. But right now, in this moment, none of that matters. Right now, there is only this: the quiet, the dark, the stillness, and you, breathing, existing, being. You have carried so much weight. More than anyone could see. More than you ever acknowledged, even to yourself. You carried it with quiet dignity, with persistent strength, with remarkable endurance. You carried it because you had to, because there was no other choice, because that is what love and responsibility and commitment required. And you have found so much light. In moments that seemed insignificant but were actually profound. In beauty that was always there but that you had to learn to see. In connections that sustained you. In experiences that reminded you why life is worth living even when it is hard. You have lived a life that is yours alone. And that is beautiful. That is meaningful. That is enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. Let yourself feel that truth. Not in your mind, but deeper. In your body, in your bones, in your heart. Let it settle into you like warmth spreading through cold limbs. Let it comfort you like a gentle hand on your shoulder. Let it reassure you like a voice saying, "You can rest now. You have done enough. Rest now." Let the weight fall away. Let yourself be held by the darkness, by the quiet, by the simple fact of your own existence. You are safe here. You are welcome here. You belong here.